जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी जीव की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्त्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग श्री राधा नयननाथ जीव की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय नित्य लीला परिष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसास्तत्र सजशिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्य लीला परिष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसास्तत्र सजशिला भक्ति दयिता माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्य लीला परिष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसास्तत्र सजशिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। जय परमहंसा शिला गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय शिशिला सच्चिदानंदा भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिला जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवर की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गो गोवर्धन वृंदावन श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंदात्मक श्री ब्रज मंदिर की जय। जय श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम धाम की जय। जय श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ श्री सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। जय श्री विश्व वैष्णव राज सभा की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय सर्व विघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर परमानंदे हरि बोल। वंदे हम श्री गुरो श्री जुता पादकमला श्री गुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्री रूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard Narad Goswami, he tested Dhruva whether he is determined to worship Krishna, and Dhruva passed the test. Then Narad Goswami was merciful to him, and he told him, you take bath in Jamuna and then come here. And then he gave him initiation. He told him how he should first control his mind, senses and life air prana by asana and pranayama. Then he should meditate on the form of Supreme Lord, and also he should worship his deity form with mantra. He gave him mantra, and also he told him to hear Harikatha about avatars. And then Dhruva accepted the teaching and did Dandavat to his Gurudev, and he did parikrama around his Gurudev. This is one kind of service to keep Guru in center, or whomever we keep in the center during parikrama, Tulsi or temple, Krishna. So it is one kind of seva, parikrama. Then he started for Madhuvan, which is always imprinted with the lotus footprints of Lord Krishna, and which is therefore especially auspicious, because his Guru instructed him to do bhajan there. Dhruva accepted all the teaching of his Gurudev. Tapovanam gate tasmin pravishtontah puram muni arhitarha nakoragya sukhasina uvachatam. After Dhruva entered Madhuvan forest to execute devotional service, the great sage Narad thought it wise to go to the king to see how he was faring within the palace. When Narad Muni approached, the king received him properly, offering him due obeisances. After being seated comfortably, Narad began to speak. This is also important, as we will hear now. Narad not only went to Dhruva, he went to his father also in palace. Narad Vach, Rajan kim dhyayasya dirgham mukhena parishusyata kim vana rishyate kamo dharmo vartena samyutaha. The great sage Narad inquired, My dear king, your face appears to be withering up, and you look like you have been thinking of something for a very long time. Why is that? Have you been hampered in following your path of religious rites, economic development, and sense gratification? Dharma, Artha, and Kama. That is kings there after this. Householder, kings, they want this. Not about liberation. That is for others. Rajovach. Suta me balako brahman. Straine na karunatmana nirvasitaha panchavarsha saha matra mahan kavi. The king replied, O best of the Brahmanas, I am very much addicted to my wife, and I am so fallen that I have abandoned all merciful behavior even to my son, who is only 5 years old. I have banished him and his mother, even though he is a great soul and a great devotee. Here we see the result of this teaching is if we are attached to woman. There it is mentioned in Shastra that there are 4 places of kali or quarrel or irreligiousness where there is violence to animals, means meat eating, and where there is gambling, where there is intoxication, and in illicit sex connection. But Acharyas explained this illicit sex connection does not mean only sexual relationship outside of legal marriage, but it means also if you are too much attached to your wife, that will divert your mind. You cannot concentrate on Krishna, you cannot do his service. So both is unrestricted sexual enjoyment even within married life is not allowed. It is detrimental, it will harm you. And even this, when they say no illicit sex, that does not mean that only you will get married and then everything is okay. No, because marriage does not mean only to sign some paper and then everything is okay. No, there are certain things for what Grihastha ashram is meant for. It is ashram. There are so many duties you have to perform and also service of Krishna, then it is okay. But not just, okay, I will not outside of marriage, then just I will sign some paper, then it is okay. No, it is not like that. He was properly married, Vedic marriage, Uttanpad. But the problem was he was too much addicted to his dead wife, Suruchi wife. So because of that, he lost that mercy and everything, and he was regretting now. I banished him. That is improper act, irreligious act. So this also is counted. Too much addiction to one's legally wedded wife is harmful. Apyanatham vane brahman ma smadantyar bha kam vrika Shrantam Shayanam Kshuditam Parimlana Mukambujam. My dear Brahmana, the face of my son was just like a lotus flower. I am thinking of his precarious condition. He is unprotected and he might be very hungry. He might have lain down somewhere in the forest and the wolves might have attacked him to eat his body. Aho me bata dauratmyam stri jitasyo padharaya yonkam premna rurukshantam nabhya nandam asatamaha. Alas, just see how I was conquered by my wife. Just imagine my cruelty. Out of love and affection, the boy was trying to get up on my lap, but I did not receive him. Nor did I even pet him for a moment. Just imagine how hard-hearted I am. So due to this addiction to wife and too much attachment, and it does not mean only for sexual enjoyment, for anything like for attention, for name and fame, or for sweet words, or for whatever someone is desiring, that will divert your mind and you will misbehave. Now he's regretting, he's also suffering because of this, because of too much. Now he's suffering, mentally suffering so much. He's remembering that now what happened because of that, my misbehavior. Just he wanted to climb on my lap and I did not do anything, even I did not pet him. That is natural father should do, should have affection for child, then child can grow up. But due to this attachment to woman, he could not even properly take care of child. This is also one duty of Grihastha ashram, to have child to make him servant of Krishna. And you have to take care of child. That is duty. Should not neglect or behave cruelly, then that is not Grihastha ashram. So even I did not pet him. He's regretting so much. Just imagine how hard-hearted I am. This is all due to that attachment. He did not want to displease his Suruchi wife. Suruchi wife was envious because Dhruva also wanted to climb on top. So no, my son will become next prince and my son can only come like this. She was envious and he was attached and this thing happened. Narada Uvach Ma Shuchach Svatanayam Deva Guptam Vishampate Tat Prabhavam Avigyaya Pravrinkte Yat Yasho Jagat. Our Gurudev told here that king was crying so much, he was regretting so much what he did. He was like a madman. He was so much suffering because of that. Then the great sage Narad replied, My dear king, please do not be aggrieved about your son. He is well protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although you have no actual information of his influence, his reputation is already spread all over the world. Narad knows everything. Already before he met Narad, he was protected by Supreme Lord because he was not blaming anyone and was calling Supreme Lord. Narad knows everything. Then he gave instruction and now also he is doing bhajan. So Krishna is protecting him. So there is no problem to your son, Narad told him. I am telling you, don't worry about your son. You don't know, but I know about him, and his reputation is already spread all over the world. You will find in conversation between Raya Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu asked, who is the most famous person? Or what is the greatest fame? And then Raya Ramananda replied, to be a devotee of Supreme Lord is the greatest fame, the greatest. The devotee is most famous person. Sudushkaram karma kritva loka paler api prabhu aishyatyachirato rajan yasho vipulayam stava. My dear king, your son is very competent. He will perform activities which would be impossible even for great kings and sages. Very soon he will complete his task and come back home. You should know that he will also spread your reputation all over the world. Narad also knows about disciple, how he is qualified, and that because of that very soon he will attain. Because Krishna sent Narad to give process. Like our Gurudev used to explain, there was one sannyasi and he came to Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur and he requested him that you might be very busy because of so much preaching. You will not be able to teach me Bhagavat, SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM Siddhanta, but I would like to learn. And if you could please tell me some of your disciples from whom I can learn, then you please advise me. Then Prabhupada told him, yes, you want to know Bhagavatam? He said, yes, I want to know. Really you want to know? Yes, I want to know Bhagavatam. Then Prabhupada said, then you should go to Ramdas Prabhu in garden. Then this sannyasi, he was surprised why he did not tell like Srila Bhakti Hridoy Bon Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakakshidhar Dev Gosai Maharaj, then Bhakti Pradip Tirtha Maharaj, those senior sannyasis in the mat, because before he was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from them, they were speaking in Harikatha on stage. So he was surprised why he is not telling the name of any of those. And he was surprised, then he went to garden and he saw Ramdas. It's a white cloth, brahmachari, and like very dirty cloth, and he's working in the garden, and outside people, they could not know that he's disciple of Prabhupada. They thought he's some hired servant for gardening or something there. So he was very surprised. So he came to him and told him, Prabhu, actually I want to learn Bhagavatam from you. Then Ramdas Prabhu said very humbly, no, I don't know any shloka of Bhagavatam. I don't know anything. I cannot teach you anything about Bhagavatam. You go to some other God brothers, they know. Then this sannyasi, he also thought, yes, I also thought like this, but what to do? So then after some days, again, he approached Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I know you might be busy, but if you tell some disciple, then Prabhupada angrily said, already I told you, you go to Ramdas. Then he said, I went to Ramdas, but he said he does not know anything. Then Prabhupada said, he knows everything. You tell him that I send you to him. And you have to learn Bhagavatam from him. Then he went again to Ramdas and very humbly said, actually, I want to learn Bhagavatam from you, and Prabhupada sent me to you. Please teach me. Then Ramdas said, oh, Gurudev sent you here. Okay, then I have to tell you something. He said, I don't know any shloka of Bhagavatam in Sanskrit, but what I know is that these cows, he was also taking care of cows. These cows are very dear to Krishna. If I serve them, Krishna will be satisfied, and their milk is used to be offered to Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari Diti, and then that prasad is given to Gurudev and to Vaishnavas. And this garden also is not ordinary garden. These all vegetables, they will be used for the service of Diti, and then Gurudev will take prasad and Vaishnavas will take prasad, and everything belongs to Krishna. I belong to Krishna, and in this age of Kali, we have to chant Harinam to satisfy Krishna. This is what I know. And he was all the time doing seva, 24 hours. Cow seva, garden seva, Vaishnav seva, and all the time chanting Harinam. Some rounds on Mala, but otherwise while doing other sevas, all the time chanting. All the time. So because he was pure devotee, realized devotee, that had an impact, that touched the heart of that sannyasi, and he understood, oh yes, this is actually Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam means Bhagavad Dharma, means devotion to Krishna, and he's practical devotee. So this is the point. The point is not to learn some shlokas, but this is. So he was very happy. Our Gurudev explained, because his target was, he was seeing those other sannyasis speaking on the stage, and so he also wanted to learn Bhagavatam in order to speak there, and then he will get appreciation, name and fame from others. That was his target. That is why intentionally Prabhupada asked him, really you want to know Bhagavatam? Because he knows what is in his heart. Guru knows. He can see everything. So intentionally he sent him to Ramdas, because he knows he is a pure devotee and he can teach pure devotion, which is the point of Bhagavatam. And our Gurudev explained that Prabhupada sitting in his room, he knows about his disciple what they have in their heart. He knows. And another, as a way of contrast, one man came to the mat and he started doing all sevas, what they gave him, and follow all programs like this, and never saying anything, just silently accepting what they told him, never saying it. But then after some time, when Prabhupada again came to Chaitanya Mat, then they introduced him and said, Prabhupada, oh, okay, but he's speaking so much. Then no one understood why Prabhupada is saying he's speaking so much. He's always silent. Then Prabhupada, because he knows his heart, he told that he was quarreling with his wife at home. And then he left, like out of protest, like I'm going from here. His target was that wife will say, no, I'm sorry, you please don't go, and like this. So that was his target, not that he wanted to go to do the service of Krishna. But he's doing, because at that time, wife did not tell him, no, please stay, I'm sorry. So he was all the time thinking, while in the mat, when my wife will come and she will say sorry. And when again I will go to home, I will see my children, all the time speaking inside, doing other things, but inside all the time speaking this topic. When she will come, when I will see my children, all the time. But others, they could not understand. Prabhupada knows everything, because pure devotee knows. So then after that man left the mat. He did not come to the mat for service. He came for some other purpose to achieve, but he could not. But Ramdas Prabhu, though outwardly like not very learned or something, but he's a real servant. That is Bhagavatam. So Narad Goswami, he knows what is in the heart of Dhruva. That is why he said he will do. You will see. Very soon he will get. And he will spread your glories also. Maitreya Uvach. Iti Devarshina Proktam Vishrutya Jagati Pati Raja Lakshmim Anadritya Putram Evan Vachintayat. The great Maitreya continued. The king, Uttanpat, after being advised by Narad Muni, practically gave up all duties in relation with his kingdom, which was very vast and wide, opulent like the goddess of fortune, and he simply began to think of his son Dhruva. Our Gurudev explained that Narad also told him, even if your son stays on your lap, you cannot protect him. You are crying, he went to forest, I'm so cruel now, all wolves and other animals, they eat him. Narad told him, even if he stays on your lap, you cannot protect him. He may die on your lap. Supreme Lord is the only protector. Like father of Raghunath Das Goswami also told to wife, no father can change the prarabdha karma of his son. So what we can do by rope and like this? So no one can change prarabdha karma. If it is in prarabdha karma in Dhruva that he will die at the age of 5, even sitting on the king's lap, he cannot protect him. No one can. Karma is in control, a result of karma is in control of God. But in this case, it was that Krishna was protecting Dhruva because Dhruva took his shelter. So no one can do anything to him. Nara told him, you don't worry. Supreme Lord is protecting. I know. So you don't worry. So this king then gave up all these duties, and all the time he was thinking about Dhruva. Tatra Bishiktah Prayatas Tam Uposhya Vibhavarim Samahitah Parya Charat Rishi Adeshena Purusham. Elsewhere, Dhruva Maharaj, having arrived at Madhuvan, took his bath in the river Jamuna and observed fasting in the night with great care and attention. After that, as advised by the great sage Narad, he engaged himself in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vibhavari, maybe you remember, we are singing Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Pravesh. The end of night came. Vibhavari means night. Vibhavari Shesh, end of night came. Aloka Pravesh, that light entered. So, Vibhavari Shesh, Aloka Pravesh. Nidrachari Utho Jeev. You give up your sleep and rise up, Jiva. And you chant Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva. So we have to rise when there is end of night and start chanting. That is best. But that does not mean if someone cannot rise very early that he cannot be devotee, because from one new person he was little inclined to Krishna consciousness, but then one day he told me, but I cannot be devotee. It is impossible for me to be devotee. Then I said, why? Everyone can be devotee. No, because I cannot rise at 4 a.m. I read in that book, if someone wants to be devotee, then he has to rise up at 4 a.m. Then I told him, no, that is very good, but that does not mean that if now you cannot rise at 4 a.m. that you are out of the game, you cannot be devotee. No. Any time you can chant Harinam. It is not that only at that time you can chant. Niyamitah smarane na kalo. There is no restriction of time, place, or anything when one can chant. So you should not worry that you cannot be devotee just because you cannot rise at 4 a.m. You can be devotee by having faith in Krishna, and you chant his name and serve him during daytime also, not necessarily that now, maybe in future when you will come more to Satya Guna and this, then you can rise, but you should not be discouraged that you cannot do anything. You cannot be devotee. So Dhruva was very serious. Immediately he started, exactly did as advised by the sage Narad. What Narad told him, he did in toto. That is the speciality of Dhruva. That is why he got result. Unless we follow the instruction of bona fide Guru, then we cannot get result. Like our Gurudev used to explain, we go to doctor and he checks us and he gives prescription, this and this medicine you have to take and this diet, and he gives. Then after a few days that patient comes back, doctor, I am still sick. You have that? Then doctor, you have that prescription? He said, yes, I know everything what you wrote. I can even tell you, I memorized that whole prescription. But you did what I told you. No. Then how you will cure? That is, we have to do what Guru says we have to do. Not, oh Guru, please be merciful, please be merciful. Mercy, mercy, mercy. No. Guru's mercy is he gives us instruction. Proper instruction. Then we have to do. Tri ratrante. Kapita badarashana atma vrityanu sarena masam ninyar chayam harim. For the first month, Dhruva ate only fruits and berries on every third day, only to keep his body and soul together. And in this way he progressed in his worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dvitiyam cha tatha masam shaste bhako dine trina parnadibih shirnei kritano biarchayan vibhum. In the second month, Dhruva Maharaj ate only every 6 days, and for his eatables he took dry grass and leaves. Thus he continued his worship. Tritiyam chanayam masam navame hani ap baksha utamashlokam upadvavat samadhina. In the third month, he drank water only every 9 days. Thus he remained completely in trance and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is adored by selected verses. Chaturtam api vaimasam dvadashe hani vayu bhaksho jita shvaso dhyayan devam adha rayat. In the fourth month, Dhruva Maharaj became a complete master of the breathing exercise, and thus he inhaled air only every 12th day. In this way, he became completely fixed in his position and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Panchame masi anuprapte, jita shwasan ripatmaja, dhyayan brahma padaikena, tasto stanur ivachala. By the 5th month, Maharaj Dhruva, the son of the king, had controlled his breathing so perfectly that he was able to stand on only one leg, just as a column stands without motion, and concentrate his mind fully on the Parabrahma. So here we cannot do this. Why? Because this is Satya Yuga. They have capacity to do tapasya, austerity. But principle we have to follow. We have to follow the instruction of Guru. So in Kali Yuga, this is not possible. You will find in Shastra that in Satya Yuga, the life could be retained in the marrow of a bone, that which is inside the bone. If life is there, then one will live like Hiranyakashipu. He was doing heavy tapasya in Satya Yuga. And he kept his life there in bones, that inside bones, that ants and they eat his body. He was only skeleton, but he was alive. When Brahma came, he saw him, and then he sprinkled him and he gave him again body. So they can do such tapasya, because life can be retained. But in Treta Yuga, life can be retained in bones. And in Dwapar Yuga, life can be retained in flesh. But in Kali Yuga, without food, you cannot retain life in the body. That is why you will find for all kinds of fastings which are mentioned in Vedic scriptures, like 12 days or so many days for other yugas. But for Kali Yuga, only maximum 1 day is allowed, fasting. Not more than that. Mahaprabhu also saw it there in South India when he went, that Ram worshipper, he was fasting for many days. Then Mahaprabhu told why he is fasting. It is not like maybe it was Ekadashi, so 1 day fasting, but there is no more than 1 day fasting prescribed in Kali Yuga, also not allowed. And why he is fasting? Even like if Nityananda Trayodashi and Bhaman, Dvadashi, Varaha or Bhamana Dvadashi, sometimes they come together, and the Ekadashi, so you are allowed to fast only on 1 day, because then you will have to break fast next day. That is the rule of fasting. So it is not allowed. And also it is mentioned in Shastra which items are allowed to be taken on fasting days, which will not break the fast. That is roots, fruits, nuts, water, milk, sugar, desire of Brahmin, pure Brahmin, if he orders something, and Guru's order, if he orders you, and medicine in life-threatening circumstances. These items will not destroy your fasting. That is why Acharyas in Kali Yuga generally they eat on Ekadashi, they also do items which are allowed, potato and these things, to be example for others. And Prabhupada also told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, better they should eat brahmacharis and do service and chanting properly and all these things, then they will not eat, and then all the time they will only think about food. That is not the point of Ekadashi. So in Kali Yuga it is different. And also one time Prabhupada had to send our Parangurudev to some place for some important work, and he had to travel on a Janmashtami day. So Prabhupada told him, you take rice. So in this case it was Guru's order, because he knew that was very important thing and he should be fit for that task, for the service of Krishna. So he told him, you can take rice. In that case it will not break fast. So practical point should be there. Seva is most important. So here also we have to take the principle. The point is we have to keep our soul and body together, fit, for the service of Krishna. So in Kali Yuga, Harinam is the medicine, that is the meditation. He was meditating, but in Kali Yuga meditation means chanting Harinam, and diet means prasad. Means we should not take that which cannot be offered to Supreme Lord, other items, and fasting on Ekadashi, you can eat those. If you can do without water fast, that is very good. If you can do, otherwise you can drink water or milk or fruit, according to your capacity. But purpose should be that you should always meditate on Krishna. That meditation should not be taken away by your too extreme fasting for you. Then that will not serve the purpose. Then better you eat what is allowed and meditate on Krishna. But in Satya Yuga this was possible. That is why he did. So in principle we have to follow what our gurus they advise, that is prasad and Harinam. Sarvato mana akrishya hridi bhutendriyashayam dhyayan bhagavato rupam nadrakshit kincha naparam. But this is one thing, prasad. That which can be offered to Krishna we have to offer, but also in proper quantity, not too much and not too less. In Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami wrote, Atyahara, too much eating will harm devotion. So as much as necessary. Krishna also says in Gita, not to sleep too much, not too less, not to eat too much, not too less, and work too much, not too less. Then you are balanced, then you can concentrate. Otherwise, your concentration will be taken away by those things. So, should not eat too much. Someone will say, yes, I'm not taking any meat, I'm only taking prasad, but he's eating so much. Then he also cannot do any service and concentrate. He will only lie down and he will become sick and all these things. Then Dhruva, he completely controlled his senses and their objects, and in this way he fixed his mind. As long as we are attached to the sense enjoyment and the object of the senses, then our mind will be restless. But it is natural for Kali Yuga. That is why they are not, it is not prescribed that you can do meditation, like you will sit and like this and meditate. No. In Kali Yuga, we have to chant loudly Harinam. Then that will purify our heart and control our senses, and we will get concentration on the object of worship. Loud chanting, Harinam and Seva, these things. But in that age it was possible. He withdrew from all pratyahara, withdrew from everything. With pranayama, he controlled mind, he withdrew, and then it is possible with peaceful consciousness, you can meditate. So in this way, he fixed his mind without diversion to anything else upon the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We get this fixation of mind on the stage of nishta, when anarthas are almost all removed. Almost all, in nishta not fully, but almost. So they are not putting block to your continuous bhajan. Nishta means you can continuously do bhajan. Continuously. Kirtanya sadahari. Trinada pisunichana tarora. That is nishta. Kirtanya sadahari. Always he can do, because his anarthas are removed to such an extent that he can concentrate. That we can get in Kali Yuga by proper process prescribed for us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Goswamis, his disciples. What Guru will instruct after taking shelter of Guru, then that bhajana kriya, what Guru will instruct, that we have to do, like Dhruva did, then through that we can remove our anarthas and come to the point of concentration upon the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or in our case first, it will be to Harinam, concentration. Then also you can have concentration on the form of Diti, and then when your heart will be pure, then the transcendental form, direct, that Swarup will also be manifested. But that time you will realize that original form of Supreme Lord and Harinam and Diti form are all non-different. They are same tattva. They are all Supreme Lord. Mahaprabhu told in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nam Vigraha Swarup tin Ekrup, tine bed nahi tin Chidanandarup. There is no difference between Nam, Vigraha means Diti, and Swarup. Tine bed nahi, there is no difference. Tin Chidanandarup. They are all transcendental. Same tattva. But we have to start, when we start bhajan, we have to start with chanting. Concentration on chanting, and then also after that with Diksha mantra and Diti worship. Then gradually, when your heart is purified, then you can realize the transcendental nature of Harinam, of Diti, of mantra, and that form of Supreme Lord. And his qualities, they are all non-different. That is Swaprakash. They are self-revelatory. They reveal themselves to a surrendered soul. But process is this, to start in this way. First, you have to start by chanting. Jiva Ado. Sevan Mukhe Hi Jiva Ado. Starting by the tongue. To chant Harinam and to take prasad. Adaram Mahat Adinam Pradhana Purusheshwaram Brahma Daraya Manasya Trayo Lokas Chakampire. When Dhruva Maharaj Das captured the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the refugee of the total material creation and who is the master of all living entities, the three worlds began to tremble. Supreme Lord was in his heart, so when Dhruva was there, then everything began to tremble. Yadeika padena sa parthi var bakas. Tasto tat angushta nipirita mahi. Nanama tatrardham bhendra dishtita tariva savyetarataha pade pade. As Dhruva Maharaj, the king's son, kept himself steadily standing on one leg, the pressure of his big toe pushed down half the earth, just as an elephant being carried on a boat rocks the boat left and right with his every step. Because so powerful, Supreme Lord came in his heart. Here. Same person becomes fully Krishna conscious. Within his heart, he can push down the earth with the pressure of his toe. Yes. By concentrating constantly on the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, that is same as appearance of Supreme Lord, could press down the entire earth like an elephant who presses down the boat on which it is loaded. Tasmin abhidhyayati vishvam atmano dvaram nirudyasum ananyaya dhiya loka niruchvasa nipirita brisham saloka palach sharanam yayur harim. When Dhruva Maharaj became practically one in heaviness with Lord Vishnu, the total consciousness, due to his fully concentrating and closing all the holes of his body, the total universal breathing became choked up, and all the great demigods in all the planetary systems felt suffocated, and thus took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By such spiritual power, his unit body became the total body of the universe. Thus, when he closed the holes of his unit body to firmly concentrate his own Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the units of the universe, namely all the living entities, including the big demigods, felt the pressure of suffocation, as if their breathing were being choked. Therefore, they all took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they were perplexed as to what had happened. Deva uchu Naivam vidamo bhagavan pranarodham chara syakila sattva dhamna videhi tanno vrijinat vimoksham prapta vayam tvam sharanam sharanyam. The demigod said, Dear Lord, you are the refuge of all moving and non-moving living entities. We feel all living entities to be suffocating, their breathing processes choked up. We have never experienced such a thing. Since you are the ultimate shelter of all surrendered souls, we have therefore approached you. Kindly save us from this danger. Shri Bhagavan Uvach Ma Bhaishta Balam Tapaso Durateyan Nivartayishye Pratiyata Swadhama Yato Hivach Prana Niroda Asit Outanapadir Mai Sangha Tatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, My dear demigods, do not be perturbed by this. It is due to the severe austerity and full determination of the son of King Uttanpad, who is now fully absorbed in thought of me. He has obstructed the universal breathing process. You can safely return to your respective homes. I shall stop this boy in his severe acts of austerities, and you will be saved from this situation. Dhruva was very serious. This is the meaning of Dhruva. Dhruva in Sanskrit means unmovable, determined. That Dhruva, pole star, is you cannot move. So decisive, determination means Dhruva. Dhruva Nusmriti, like the one level of meditation is Dhruva Nusmriti, is very firm, continuous. So if we can follow the instructions of Guru like Dhruva with great determination, then we will get result. Maitreya Uvach. This is next chapter, 9, in 4th canto. Maitreya Uvach. Ta evam utsanna bhaya urukrame kritava nama prayayus trivishtapam sahasra shirshapi tato garut mata mador vanam britya didrikshaya gata. The great sage Maitreya told Vidur, when the demigods were thus reassured by the personality of Godhead, they were freed from all fears, and after offering their obeisances, they returned to their heavenly planets. Then the Lord, who is not different from the Sahasra Shirsha avatar, got on the back of Gorur. This is Bengali pronunciation, Garuda. Gorur, who carried him from the Madhuvan forest to see his servant Dhruva. The purpose of this human birth is this. Our focus should be to serve Supreme Lord, to rescue us from material existence, material entanglement existence, to liberate us and to attain our real life in the service of Supreme Lord. This human life is not meant for other things, enjoyments of this world. They are not proper goals and cannot satisfy you. But our mind is diverted. We want to enjoy this and like this, but we will not get. So we need sadhu sangha to realize, and shastra sangha also, to realize that what for this human birth we got. Sometimes we become depressed if we cannot get something what we want in this world. But that is useless, because that is not the goal of your human life. And even by getting that, you cannot be happy. So by sadhu and shastra sangha, we have to come to this point where we have to concentrate our mind and actions to attain what? This is what Dhruva did, and now he will get the result. Supreme Lord is coming to him. Savai dhiya yoga vipaka tivraya hrit padma koshe spuritam tarit prabham tirohitam sahasaivo palakshya bahistitam tat avastam dadarsha. There is those 4 enemies, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarja. So moha, ishta, labha, bine. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, like bewilderment, illusion, or also lamentation due to losing something. But there Narottam Thakur told how we should use this moha in the service of Krishna. We should think, till now I did not attain Supreme Lord. till now. In this way we have to regret. Not that we will become depressed. Oh, I did not get that money, I did not get that wife, I did not get that husband, I did not get child, I did not get this, all the things we are thinking. But that is not what we are to attain. We have to attain the service of Supreme Lord. That is our target project. Ishta moha ishta lava bine. Like bewildered or lamenting that I did not yet attain Supreme Lord. That is proper usage. Means you understand what is the thing to be attained. What is the necessity? That is service, eternal service of Supreme Lord. Because we are His eternal servants constitutionally. And only that attainment can actually satisfy us, and that is natural life, that is healthy life, real life. The form of the Lord, which was brilliant like lightning, and in which Dhruva, in his mature yogic process, was fully absorbed in meditation, all of a sudden disappeared inside his heart. Thus Dhruva was perturbed, and his meditation broke. But as soon as he opened his eyes, he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally present, just as he had been seeing the Lord in his heart. Actually, that is Swayam eva spuratyada. Krishna is, by his will, he reveals himself, and he can also withdraw. You will find many examples in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs and writings. Suddenly I got darshan, but then he withdrew. He went. Because it is by his will. So though Dhruva, he was following the process of Narad Goswami, and he was meditating on the forum as Narad Goswami described. That description, and that is non-different from forum. That is why he was so absorbed, and such happiness he was having inside. But if Krishna wants, he can at any time take that away. Like we heard also Narad Goswami, when he was meditating, then Krishna got him darshan, then Krishna disappeared. Then Narad tried again, same sadhana, everything he tried, but could not get. Because darshan is by the will of Krishna, not by we can force him by our sadhana, no. It is his grace. So now Supreme Lord wanted to give him direct darshan. That is why, because Dhruva will not open his eyes. It is impossible. He is so much absorbed in that forum inside his heart and getting such bliss, he will never open his eyes. So how Supreme Lord will give him darshan direct in front of him? So Supreme Lord had to take by his own will that forum away. Krishna can give, Krishna can take also. We cannot control Krishna. So on purpose he took that so that Dhruva will be bewildered and he will open his eyes. Then he saw the same Supreme Lord, what he was meditating inside, that forum is same, because Narad Goswami told him what is the forum of Supreme Lord, because he is always seeing him. Sada Pashyanti Suraya. Tad Vishnu Paramang Padam Sada Pashyanti Suraya Diviva Chakshuratatam. Those Suraya, the pure devotees, liberated souls, they are always seeing the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. Like we can see the sun by his grace. So Narad is always seeing Supreme Lord. We heard Narad saw Supreme Lord. Then Supreme Lord disappeared. Then he was trying, but he could not get. Then he was depressed. Then he surrendered. Then a voice came from Krishna. Then Narad, I showed myself to you to increase your eagerness for me. But because you are not yet fully pure, you cannot see me again in this life. You go on doing bhajan. When you will be fully liberated, then always you will see me. So then Narad got that Bhagavat Parshad Deho Prapt. He got his eternal form. Then he's always saying, so he can give now. Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila of Supreme Lord. He can give because he has. So he gave form to Dhruva, and that form which he gave to Dhruva is the same form as direct Supreme Lord and same effect. Like that, Nam, Vigraha, Swarup, they are all non-different. But for us, we have to start with name. That is most easily available and also at all the time, and no rules and regulations like this. Then Diti also. Then by service, we will realize Swarup. And that time also we will understand they are all three non-different. It's the same, just as he had been seeing the Lord in his heart. Oh, time is already. Okay, then only this one verse I will read. Tat darsha nenagata sadva sakshito avan da tangam vi namaya dandavat drigbhyam prapashyan prapiban ivar bakash chunban ivasena bujer ivashlishan. When Dhruva Maharaj saw his Lord just in front of him, he was greatly agitated and offered him obeisances and respect. He fell flat before him like a rod, that is Dandavat Pranam, and became absorbed in love of Godhead. Dhruva Maharaj in ecstasy looked upon the Lord as if he were drinking the Lord with his eyes, kissing the lotus feet of the Lord with his mouth, and embracing the Lord with his arms. He was seeing and all like this was happening. He felt like this. That, 1 second. Yes. So, direct darshan he got. And Bhagavan, word Bhagavan has that meaning, sixfold opulences, but word Bhagavan according to Jiva Goswami also means Bhajanya Guna Vishishta. Bhagavan is that person who has such qualities, Bhajanya Guna Vishishta, such special qualities that whoever comes in contact with him, he cannot but want to worship him, serve him. So now Dhruva saw, and immediately he fell flat and respect and want to serve him. Yes. So tomorrow we will hear about Srila Bhakti Hridoy Bon Gosai Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Saura Bhakti Sar Gosai Maharaj, Prabhupada's disciples. Then after that we will continue this about Dhruva. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bolo, 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 Hari Bolo. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ji ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Shri Radha Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchatatatmak Shri Gaura Hari ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Shri Radha Nayananath Ji ki Jai. Jai Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Dev ki Jai. Jai Patit Pavan Shila Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shila Parang Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Gurubari ki Jai. Jai Shri Panchatattva Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Brinda Devi Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Jai Sarva Vigna Vinashanakari Shri Nrisingha Dev ki Jai. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Brinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Jai Shri Dhruva Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari Bol. Thank you all. Dandavat Pranam. Hari Bol.